Hey, pile of crap wife. Are you still inside at my parents' house? I'm still in the house, yes. Did you need something else from me today? Did you make sure to finish all of the laundry? I want to make sure you got to all of my blankets and sheets as well before I get home. Because if you still haven't finished them like what happened last time, then I'm going to be even more furious with you. And you wouldn't want another taste of my anger, right? All you're good for is doing the chores and nothing else, you pile of garbage. So you'd better have finished up with all of today's chores, and I mean everything. Because if you can't even do chores for the family and I anymore, then you really are worth nothing to us here. Are you feeling bad for yourself for having to hear all of this from me? Ashamed that you have to be told such trivial stuff at your age? I've given up on feeling bad for myself now since this has gone on for so long. And I'd never be ashamed. As for the laundry, it's all done now and I was about to start folding it. Even your bedding is done and has even finished drying outside. So don't get too worked up about it. You really are the worst woman and wife ever. Why did my brother ever choose to marry an uneducated woman like you? It's not even like you have any good looks and you only ever graduated from high school. And you've never even gotten yourself a proper full-time job before, right? Well, considering that you're completely hopeless, there was never a chance you'd get a proper job in the first place. Say whatever you want about me, I'm used to it all now. What is that nonchalant attitude all about? It's disgusting. Do you want me to teach you another horrible lesson? That right there, could you stop doing that all the time? Just because I never went anywhere after high school doesn't mean you have to judge my whole life based off it, right? And why would my sister-in-law even care that much about my education in the first place? It's been 3 years now since I married your brother, and you should be over all that childish crap. What was that? You think you can finally talk back to me starting today? I'll have you know, it's because you have no education that I have to say all of this about you. You are nothing more than a lowlife, which means that all you should be doing is shutting up and listening to me. You can't seriously be saying things like that now, calling me a lowlife and all. And if you tell anything about this to Jay, he is not going to help you. I've already made sure he stays out of our drama. I know that already. By the way, I'm going to be getting married finally. What? Is that right? I hate that I'll have to leave this wonderful home and its slave, but the man I'm marrying not only has a very high education, but is a doctor. The kind of doctor that someone of your status would never be able to pull. I'm glad I actually went to college and graduated with a bachelor's from there. An uneducated lowlife like you would never be able to marry a doctor, let alone date one. So you're marrying a doctor? Congrats. I'm so happy to hear this. You're going to be lonely after I'm gone, right? No, actually, I won't be. But don't you worry one bit about that, all right? I'll make sure to have your hopeless ass coming over to my new place here soon to do the chores there as well. Excuse me? You want me doing the chores over at your new place too? The place where you'll be going with your soon-to-be husband? That's the place. You don't do anything else with your life after all, so that will be fun for you, right? And by the way, if you don't start coming over to do everything for us, I'll make Jay divorce you. Are you really willing to say crazy things like that now? I think you wanting to have me go all the way out to whatever new place you plan to move into to do all of your chores is not the right mindset you should have as a wife, all right? I don't think I'll be doing anything like that for you. You're going to be my slave forever, whether you like it or not. And the only person in this world that knows what to do with a low-life pile of trash like you is me. That's even more mean than before. That's right. This weekend, my man will be coming over to see all of you. What? He's coming out here? That's right. So make sure you're home to introduce yourself to him. That should be something even the most pathetic of uneducated lowlifes can do. Understood. So Dana's getting married now, is she?
What? Did you already hear about that from her? I only just heard about that a little bit ago, so that was quick. I heard she's marrying a doctor. I can't believe her. All she had to do was say she wanted to get married and boom.
So her fiance really is a doctor then?
I'm sure you'll be lonely once my older sister's out of this house, but she told me that she'll still be asking you to go and hang out with her a lot, so you don't have to worry.
Huh? I don't have to worry. What are you going on about, Jay? Are you being for real right now?
What? For real about what?
I'm not sure why it seems you've always thought of your sister and I being close to one another, but we're not. Why would you even think I'd be lonely to have her leaving? Have you seen the way she treats me? Can you even see the way she treats me?
Why are you getting all upset now, Finley? Are you starting to get a little bit jealous because my sister's marrying a doctor now? I've heard all about things from her, you know. You happen to be very close to her, and that's why you would most likely get jealous from the good news. I just hope you don't start saying any other rude things about my sister. She's always been spoiling you and treating you like her own little sister, so shouldn't you be happy instead of jealous?
I can't believe this. Jay, I have something very important to tell you. You have to start listening and trusting what I tell you, or else you're going to be left regretting a lot of things in the future.
Finley? You're acting all strange now. What happened? Did you hit your head on something?
Do you even care to listen to my answer? Or will you just ignore what I say and continue believing what your sister says about me?
I'll listen to you. Now, just calm down so that you can talk things over with me.
Then let me tell you in person. Hurry home as soon as you can once you're out of work, all right? I want to make sure you hear everything. Pile of trash! I'm sure you're at least partially ready, aren't you? You've finished cleaning up a lot of the house already, haven't you? Yes, I've finished all of that. Will you both be arriving here soon? I don't want you looking like the pile of garbage you are, so make sure to wear something nice today. You normally look like the holy grail of flies. That's why everyone calls you trash and a pile of crap. Perhaps I always look a little bad because someone in the house went and tossed a lot of my good clothing? What are you talking about? I have no idea who that could be you're referring to there. My fiance and I are coming there right now, so don't do anything that would embarrass me, all right? And once the pile of trash woman has introduced herself, you get your ass into your room and stay there for the remainder of the time he's around. All right, I'll make sure to do that. Don't even answer any of his questions when he's there. Let me be the one to talk and then scurry off. All right, I understand. I'll make sure to let you handle everything. Everything. All right? You! Finley, what the hell was that about? What kind of games are you trying to play with me now? My fiance just got up and left here. And where the hell did you run your ass away to? I have loads of things I want to yell your ear off about. Now get back here and listen to me. I am going to make you pay for all the crap you just pulled. You and I are never going to meet with one another one-on-one again, so you don't have to stay upset with me. If there is ever anything you have to talk to me about in the future, I'm making sure that someone else will be there as a witness. Huh? What the actual hell are you talking about? I am furious with you right now because of that stupid BS you just pulled. My fiance was in shock and left me. You'd better start putting some actual thought into what you're doing right now before things get really bad, you frickin' pile of crap idiot. Who's really the pile of crap idiot here? What? What did you say to me? Your fiance didn't just run away from you in shock, but told you that the marriage was off now. Are you still not aware of that? You must be a lot more brain dead than I first thought. I will not forgive you for this now. You told him that you were the uneducated pile of trash wife to my brother, and then you told him you were pleased to meet him. Because you pulled that total crap during your introduction to him, he left me. Are you even aware of that? What the actual hell was that introduction? What? Did I say something incorrect about myself then? I thought the person who I told him I am is the person you think of me as all the time, right? That's the kind of person I am to you, so why wouldn't I tell him that? Was there a problem or anything with that? That is not the kind of thing you say about yourself in a setting like that. If you would have just been thinking, you would have known that. You should have never told me he was a doctor. Huh? You should have never told me that your fiancé was a doctor. Had you never told me who he was, I probably wouldn't have had to tell him as much as I did today. But because I was aware of the person he is, I made sure he could understand who I was to you, and that really got him all shook up, didn't it? I think I did the right thing there. I can't believe this. Did you really tell him all of that on purpose? After what I just said to you, you should be more than aware that it was on purpose. Really does suck that before you two could even plan out a wedding, he left you and called off the marriage. Perhaps that means you're not as great of a woman after all. Oh, of course you're not. There's nothing about you that could be attractive to men. You stop playing around with me right now. Who do you think you are, talking to me like that? Do you think it's okay for you to talk back to me like that right now? I'm going to make sure my brother leaves you now, and when I tell my parents about this, they'll kick you out of their house for sure. I'm pretty sure you'll be the one getting kicked out, Dana. Huh? No way in hell that's happening to me after this. This house is my family's house. You've done a lot to hurt me over the past 3 years, and now I am no longer forgiving you for any of it. And neither will any of your family. What are you trying to say to me right now? What do you think a hopeless woman like you will be able to do to me? I'll have you know that everything you've done to me up until now has been recorded on video. What? Recorded on video? Not just video though, actually, but there are screenshots of things as well as pictures that I've taken. Everything you've done to me has been recorded in some form or another. And I've been waiting a long time now for the perfect chance to exact my revenge. Why do you keep on talking about a whole lot of nonsense, video recordings and screenshots? Did I ever even do anything wrong? Well, there was that time you pushed me down those stairs. The time you hit me in the head and back with a cast iron frying pan, and those times you made me eat things that were either raw or rotten. But all this time, you've done a decent job of covering everything you did to me up. Like making me always cook for everyone in the house so that when I told Jay about how you'd feed me horrible things, he wouldn't believe me. And how you'd say you were never even in the same spot of the house as me when I went tumbling down the stairs or was hit by you with those pans. But I only say you did a decent job of all that because your mom started to notice you were lying. Hold on a second. I did all of that to you? You can keep trying to gaslight me about all of that, but these recordings and photos do not lie. I'm sure it's easy to say that you just forgot you did all of that as well, since you were the one who carried them out. But as the victim, I can remember every little detail of each and every event. Well, thankfully the time has come for me to get this revenge. And now I'm going to win with all this evidence in my hands. What do you mean by win? You're making it sound like I'm the bad guy or something here. I'm sorry, but no matter how people try to look at things here, you are the bad guy in them all. But that's not something I care to explain to you anymore. I'm just happy to see that I didn't even need all of this evidence to convince your fiance that you are indeed a terrible person, all with one simple introduction of myself. There's no way this can be happening. I think he was just joking about not wanting to marry me. I sure hope you keep thinking of that as nothing but a joke. The longer it takes for you to realize the truth, the harder things will become when you're punished. Also, the fact that your fiancé left you so easily there probably means that there was already a bit of indecisiveness in his mind about you. Perhaps you couldn't hide the bitch you really are deep down from him. What is all this BS you keep saying about me? And calling this your revenge is so freaking lame. This isn't even a revenge for anything, and you're just being a monster because that's all you lowlifes seem to know how to behave. What did I ever do wrong to even deserve all of this? The fact that you still don't understand all of the wrongs you've committed confirms to me you really are a failure of an adult. Well, don't worry, Miss Mentally Challenged. Soon your parents and brother will be helping you understand just how many terrible things you've done. My family will... You can't seriously be saying that you'll tell my family about all of that. Why wouldn't I? I gathered all of this evidence in order to tell them about you. And by the way, I already showed my husband everything. Your husband? Jay? What the hell did you do to my brother? I understand that he's your little brother and all, but he's also my husband, and that means I can do whatever I want with him. Also, all I was doing was showing him what you've done to me. I have a right to do that, correct? I mean, if you were so worried about him knowing those things, then why did you do all of them in the first place? A right to... this isn't about your rights to do anything. It's not like any of that matters, though, because Jay would surely never believe what you showed him. He is the closest to me, after all. And that's why for a while now he was never willing to actually listen to anything I'd say. But due to the fact that I had video evidence, there was no way he'd be able to claim that I was lying or anything like that. He was in shock, Dana. He was also so upset in himself for never giving me the chance to fully explain things to him that he said he'd never have to see you again. He doesn't want to see you again, frankly. What was that? So, Jay, he actually believed you? That has to be a lie, right? There is no way in hell he'd ever listen to what you tell him over what I say. No way. But after seeing all the videos I had taken, he had no other choice but to believe me. Although he really had no clue about all of the horrible things you'd done to me and was not ready to fully accept all of it. But after a few minutes, he knew he had to, and I'm sure the same will be said when I show the rest of your family this evidence. And even if they still don't want to, at least now, Jay no longer wants you to be in his house. Huh? Does he think he can kick me out of the house now? Throw me away from my family? Weren't you already planning on leaving the house and your family with that marriage? Why are you so upset about this becoming the end result for you? I guess you're not going to be getting married anymore, but that's something you had coming for you for a long time now, so it has nothing to do with the rest of us. That was never coming for me. The only reason I've had to have all of this awful crap happen to me today, all of it is because of you. This is all your fault, Finley. Because you went and said all of that useless garbage to my fiance, he left the house and I. And if that means we really won't be getting married to one another anymore, I will not let you get away from me. Even if you won't let me get away from you, who's to say I will ever let you get near me again? You've really put yourself into a very cruddy situation by having bullied me like I really was your slave all these years. What happens to you next is all a part of my revenge, Dana. Be prepared for it. Finley, what the hell is going on now? I just got a letter saying that I'm being taken to court. This shouldn't be happening to me, right? What are you trying to say I actually did to you? You came back home to your parents' house after running out all night looking for your fiance. Were then yelled at by the both of them for what you'd done to me, and then you came at me trying to punch me with nothing held back at all, right? There were plenty of witnesses in that room this time, so there's no way you're going to be able to talk your way out of punishment this time. And even if you could, I still have all the evidence from all the other incidents that I can take you to court for. No matter what you try and do now, you're screwed. That was because you tried to make me look bad in front of my family. I was pissed off after what you'd done, so of course I was going to punch you. That's all it was. Okay, but you're pretty well into your adult life now, correct? And when you go trying to punch another person like that, it becomes a crime. You weren't aware of that? From what it looked like, you might not have been, but were totally aware that you needed to hurt me in order to calm your anger. You cut this crap out right now. I'm sorry that I got a little emotional in front of everyone the other day, okay? But trying to take me to court now? I never did anything bad enough to warrant you doing this to me, right? You and I, we're family, aren't we? Yet now you're going through all the steps to get me kicked out of the house and out of my family? What you've done makes you the bad guy. And if you go through with taking me to court and in front of a judge for everything, what am I going to be able to do in order to defend myself? I don't care about what you'll be able to do. Find yourself a lawyer and hope for the best there. In my case, after all that I've had to go through, I have every right to take you to court and get my revenge. And then, after all is said and done, I will never have to see you again. It will only be Jay and I that are ever allowed to live with your parents, so you need to go and live somewhere else. Preferably far away from here. Your parents are on board with all of this as well, as they came to me to apologize for everything and they said they were done with you. Things will finally be a little bit easier for me now in the house. Don't you find it a little strange that I'm having to be the one getting kicked out? And that you get to stay in my parents' house? That place has always been my house, yet for some reason, why should an uneducated and useless woman be allowed to stay there? Uneducated, shut the hell up. I happen to be a far better person than you, even if I never went to college. And I was even able to get myself a husband, while you took 3 years from then to find yourself someone to marry, and he left you in an instant. Sure, you may have been good looking to him on the outside, but the moment he realized what you are within, he was gone. All you are is this shallow, stupid, and violent bitch. You can't say things like that about me, especially since I've just lost my fiance because of you, Finley. You're still blaming that one on me? All that happened was him finding out about what you think of me, right? And no matter what you think, he was going to find out about how you'd been treating me eventually. But going and telling my family about me as well was a dick move. I no longer have a place to sleep, all right? And so what? You always brag about how you got yourself a bachelor's, so put that thing to use and find yourself a job. So you seem to have a lot of fun making fun of me for being uneducated in that regard, but I'm the one who actually found both love and a company job where I make decent money. What about you? Right after you graduated college, you never even bothered to find yourself a job. I know that recently you've been telling everyone about how you're still searching, but that can't be true, right? You graduated before I even married your brother, which means you've been searching for 10 years now. I think that might be another reason your fiance left you, right? What the hell? You're really annoying me now. I have had a lot more going on than you know about. Had I really wanted to go out and work, I could have found a job anywhere. You could have? Then go get a job and quit whining. You will then be able to afford yourself a place to live and will no longer have to be around me, right? You are 32 years old now, aren't you? I thought that by that age, most women had a life of their own and were doing all right. And before you try and take a jab back at me, the only reason Jay and I still live with your parents is because he's paying the loan on this house off for them. But you haven't even helped by putting in $1, so it's kind of fair that you have to leave the house now, right? But no more goddamn buts, you idiot. You went and tried assaulting me again and are now going to court on criminal charges. And once you've been judged in court, you will have lost all of your family. Do you understand that? Every little bit of what's happened and what's happening to you is what you deserve. If you still don't quite get that, then please take your time. But if and when you do, get out there and start a life of your own, please. All you seem to know how to do is complain, you filthy piece of crap. You don't have to say that. Finley, please forgive me. Me deciding to forgive you or not all decides on what happens next. But for right now, I don't want to be around you and do not think I will ever forgive what you've done. Therefore, don't you ever try coming around me again. Goodbye forever. I hope you end up regretting everything you ever did to me in hell someday.
Are you all right with how everything went? With my sister and all? You didn't just have her taken away by the police because you couldn't get over what she did to you, right? I don't mean to say what happened to her wasn't warranted. After I saw those videos of what she'd done, I started to really hate her a lot.
I think she deserved everything that happened and that she'll have suffered enough by the time it's all over for her. I really hope that by her being taken into custody by the law, she'll learn her lesson.
I'm really sorry, Finley. Because I never took the time to notice what was going on, you had to spend 3 years going through hell with her.
There were times I could have shown you the evidence a lot sooner, but didn't, so I'm also to blame for that. Honestly, we shouldn't be blaming ourselves for any of what happened, though, since it's all in the past now.
I know that even my parents have been apologizing to you, which means from now on, I'm going to do everything for you to make sure you have the family you've always wanted. I also want to make sure you never question whether or not I'm your ally. I'm sure that for a bit that'll be tough for you, but I hope that after some time I'll have learned about all the horrible things that happened with you and you can really gain your trust back. From now on, I'm making time to talk to you, all right?
You saying that to me now is very heartwarming. So from now on, I'll make sure to let everything out. And soon we'll be having a kid to worry about as well, right? If we are both still having trouble getting along, I'd feel terrible for our baby.
Good point. You and I need to get going on growing really close to one another again, right?
And let's make sure to never think about Dana again. Because we still have our lives ahead of us and don't need the bad memories of her impeding what we do anymore. I even want to talk with your parents about this now, so we're all on the same page. That way, as your wife, I can finally feel like I'm actually your parents' daughter-in-law. In order to make sure that both Jay and myself could put his older sister behind us, we made deeper ties with his parents. I'm not aware of too much now in regards to what happened with Dana, other than the fact that she's moved into company housing, working somewhere I've never heard of. And as for the court case, I ended up never going through with it and ending everything I held against her because I just didn't want to bother with her anymore. I was already happy with the fact that both Jay and his parents got rid of her as a part of their family. So in the end, I think this was the best revenge I could have gotten after what she'd done. I'm now feeling much better about the choice I had made of marrying a man like Jay, and now have this sense of being his wife and his parents' daughter-in-law instead of some punching bag for Dana. And as a way of showing that they were truly sorry for what had happened to me, Jay's parents are taking me with them to the Philippines this coming month, and I'll get to spend a week growing even closer to the both of them at an all-inclusive resort. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.